Brendan, this is Curtis Calhoun with MMA News. My first question for you, what's going through your mind right now, and how pumped are you to get back in the PFL cage on Thursday night?
Right this second, food is what's going through my mind. But yeah, I am excited to be back. It's been a long road back because this thing's seasonal. You know, you do get a bit of time off. And yeah, it's good to be back amongst the staff, amongst the vibe, and to just feel this fight energy.
I got you, man. And do you almost feel that you have a chip on your shoulder after last season? What was your off season like, and how pumped are you to get back out there?
Not really, no. I mean, I've had a chip on my shoulder since I started MMA, really. I mean, I want to win this stuff. I want to be a world champion. So I guess if you call it a chip, that's what it is. But off season don't really exist for me. I just love training every day. That's what I do. I don't believe in camps either. I just, add a few things towards the end of, training camps like sprints, bit more sparring, things like that. But really, I train all year round, and I just absolutely love the sport.
Awesome, man. And last question for me. We talked a little bit with Stuart Austin earlier, and he kind of talked about the state of MMA over in the UK and how much it's grown over time. How much would it mean to you to bring back a PFL title to the UK?
Everything. We've only ever had one MMA world champion, and that was Michael Bisping. Since then, before then or after then, we've not had one. So for me, it'd be the biggest thing ever for my country and for myself. I come this close last year, and I will not be missing it this year.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you.
Mark.
Hey, Brendan, this is Mark from the Touch 'em Up podcast, man. How you doing?
Hey, brother.
My question comes in the form of obviously your opponent. I think he's a guy who's not extremely well known when it comes to PFL. Obviously, he's not an extremely well-known fighter, but if you watch his highlights, if you watch him compete, the guy can throw down. He's got good striking, and I know you're a striker at heart. Do you feel like this is a matchup that you're extremely hyped up and pumped for because you're going to be going in there against another guy who's going to want to come forward and strike with you?
I mean, yes and no, because I've ended up with like the wild card. I've ended up with the guy that nobody really knows, but he's super dangerous. And when you get the guys like Wade and Palmer and Bubba and the guys that have been around, there's loads of footage and, they're like marquee names. And when you beat them, people are like, oh, he beat this guy. But I've ended up with the guy who's coming over from Japan. It's his first season, but he's tough as nails. So, yeah, I mean, he looks like he's more of a striker, but I've also seen him shooting in his fights as well. So we're prepared for anything, man. It's been a long training camp. So yeah, I mean, I'm more than prepared for any of these guys this year. There's 9 other guys in it, and I'm preparing for every one of them. Not one in particular, every single one of them.
Right. And do you think that with the way the PFL works, the tournament style and how you get a little bit of time off, like you mentioned already, and then you're back into training camp, but you're always training. Do you feel like the tournament aspect gives you guys a little bit more of motivation because like you said, like you kind of have an idea of who you're going to be going up against, but you don't really know until that fight is over and then you can look towards your next opponent. But does that give you more motivation to have that, tournament style, kind of like old school tournament style going through everybody?
Here's what I love about the PFL. It doesn't matter how many Instagram followers you got. It don't matter about how popular you are. It don't matter about any of that. You get a text message and it says you're fighting this guy on this day. You got no choice. There's not 3 options. It's this guy. Take it or leave it. And that's what I love about the PFL. No one can dodge nobody. All the hard fights. Everybody's at a high level. And the fact that every year they just roll the dice again and bring in new talent, it's just super exciting.
100%, man. I think you couldn't have answered that question any better. If you have one message for your opponent, this newcomer, this wild card, what is it?
Welcome to PFL. Welcome to USA. I'm going to go and show them some British steel. You know what I
mean? Good, man. And best of luck in your first fight, Brendan.
Thank you, bro.
Max.
How you doing, Brendan? Thanks so much for taking the time, man. Good to talk to you again. This is Max Going from the Going Live Network. I just had a quick question about the matchup itself, kind of piggyback off that last one. He's not very known in terms of the PFL, but what do you expect to see out of your opponent on Thursday?
Watched a few of his fights. There's not a whole lot of footage. So, I mean, it's a wild card. But I've been around this sport a long time. I'm 21-4 as a professional. I've seen all types of styles. I'm sure he's not going to bring anything I've not seen before. And if he does, then fair play to him. But again, vigorous training for this fight. So whatever he does bring, I'll be more than prepared.
Absolutely. And then just one last one for me. Obviously, last year, your first fight, you got that first round finish, a big key in getting to the playoffs. Are you looking to do the same for this year to start it off?
I was literally just like, someone tagged me in that as I was walking in here, and I thought, wow, that is exactly what I need to do this year. I had a dream last night. I'm not going to tell you what the finish was, but I actually dreamt the finish last night. And if it actually happens, I'm going to write it down somewhere because I've seen someone do that recently. If it happens, it'd be crazy. But yeah, I've actually envisioned the shot. So let's see.
Well, I can't wait to see if that dream comes true, man. Good luck on Thursday. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Dylan.
Hey there, Brendan. I appreciate you making some time.
Anytime, mate.
I'm just curious. I've noticed over at least the last few months, you've been getting in some presumably really high-level work over at Tiger Muay Thai. Can you speak to the skill development you were able to get going there?
I've been training at Tiger Muay Thai since 2012. Back and forth. I usually go once a year. I absolutely love the place. It was shut for 2 years during COVID, so I couldn't go there, and it was so nice to go back. So good to see all my old coaches and training partners and get in the word. Thailand's my happy place. That's where I feel like Brendan gets the best out of himself, and I feel like going over there, I've reinvented myself for this season. It's a place that I've not been able to go for a while, and just ticked all the boxes. You know, went through everything: my striking, my wrestling, my grappling, and actually had some strength and conditioning to this camp as well. That's something I heavily neglected last year. And yeah, in the off season, I started really attacking the weights, grappling, and yeah, the strength conditioning.
Yeah, and I imagine there'd be some benefit too. I mean, obviously different weight categories, but working alongside, like, you know, a guy who's a PFL champion in shoe face, like I would think that would, you know, help the progression along.
I mean, going through the names, Nikolai Asakian, who fights in here, he was there. You got Shoeface, you got Peter Yan was there, Chimaev was there, Rafael Faziev, Damiris Magulov. It was just littered with talent, and it was littered with energy, and it's energy that I need, high-level competition and high-level training.
Yeah, for sure. And then just lastly, because I still find it very curious that you don't have an official nickname as of yet. Do you see that ever changing one of these days?
Have you just seen that on Twitter?
Yeah.
All right, good, because why is this just getting brought up now? Like, everybody's coming at me about this nickname. Listen, if you can give me a nickname, I've been in this a long time, like one's never stuck, but I've had Lightning Loughnane, yeah, that was close. I've had Shotgun Loughnane, that was close. But I feel like I've got to take it and run with the nickname, but I just kind of like let them fly past. But maybe we should get one this year. Why not? Why not? This is the season.
Maybe it could be British Steel, right?
You know what? I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to do a thing on Twitter, and whoever wins, I will change my nickname to that. How about
that? There we go. Yeah. Thanks for the insights, man. Appreciate it.
No problem, brother.
Trevor.
Hey, Brendan. Trevor Ritchie with the HITP Network. A couple of days ago, you said, you think this division is yours to lose. So when you kind of survey the PFL landscape this year, what is it about the competition in this division that makes you feel confident about that?
I mean, I looked up and down the paper last year, and when I looked up and down, I was like, oh, if I run into Movlid, that's going to be a tough fight. And then I actually went into that fight. There was multiple circumstances going into it, what didn't help, but he was the better man on the night. Movlid's not in here this year. And I just looked up and down, and I was like, there's some unknown guys, like the guy I'm fighting. Who knows? This guy might be the next Conor McGregor. Who knows? I don't know. So if he is, he is. But looking up and down, there's a lot of familiar faces, and I feel like I match up very well with them guys.
Thanks, Brendan.
No problem.
Lorenzo.
Hey, Brendan, thanks for taking the time. This is Lolo here from Wilkiesburg Pod Network. And we just had Chris up here, and you're another fighter that's been in this game for more than a decade. That's a long time, man. You have 13 wins by finish, but you've never been finished. I think most fans focus mostly on offense and KOs and all this, but they don't really get all the defensive measures that successful fighters like you take during the course of a fight. Can you speak a little as to how much of your training or preparation has been on defending those big shots versus being able to land those big shots?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I've never even been dropped in a fight. I've never been submitted. I've never been knocked out. I've been probably buzzed once or twice, but I don't want to jinx it. But I don't know what it is. I guess they make good chins in Manchester. I don't know what's going on, but I like to get in the pocket. I like to have fights. You've seen the way I fight, so that's pretty incredible record considering my first fight was 2008. And yeah, again, we've not really talked about this online before, so I ain't trying to jinx anything, but it looks good. I know it's not a bad little resume that I'm putting together.
No jinx here, man. I promise. And then one last thing, you mentioned about the dream, and you were gonna write that down on a paper. If that thing does come true, man, you got to show that on the broadcast. Don't wait till afterwards. I think we need to see that on the big screen. Yeah.
Listen, I woke up this morning. I turned to my coach in the other bed. I was like, shit, I just envisioned what happened in my dream last night. And he's like, really? What was it? And I told him the shot, and he was like, yeah, well, I think that's going to work too. And I was like, wow. And if that actually happens, it's going to be insane. But, you know, who knows?
Looking forward to it, man. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Mills.
Hey, how's it going, British Nightmare?
The British Nightmare, I don't like that one. Come
Oh,
on.
all right. I tried. Hey, how's it going, though, man? I just wanted to see if it stuck. All right, no, it seems like, man, it worked. If not, it's all good. It seems like in this PFL organization, it seems like we kind of seen you grow up right before our eyes. You know, you're already taking out UFC veterans and UFC contenders that were supposed to be in that organization. We already know what happened with your story. I feel like this is your time to rewrite everything for your story. What can we expect to come out this tournament time? Because like you said, you were right there, that close to the million. I think you're going to be able to get it this time. How do you feel?
Come on, bro. I love that energy. That's what I'm looking for. I was that close, you're right. I ran into a guy whose nickname was the Killer last year, and it turns out, you know, he was pretty fucking good. So, yeah, I mean, this year, obviously, like, you know, we can all make excuses. This wasn't right, that wasn't right, this and that. But listen, it's a fresh start. It's 2022. I'm here, I'm reinvigorated, and I'm ready for this fight.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. You put on some of the most entertaining fights, man. Love to see it. And if you ever get matched up with Cal Bachnick, it's going to be fireworks.
Someone else said that, like, yeah, fucking hell, he looks exciting too. So, yeah, let's do it.
Mark.
Hey, Brendan, Mark from the Touch 'em Up podcast again. You mentioned a little bit about your training partners, your training camp. You mentioned two names in particular in Petr Yan and Khamzat Chimaev. I just wanted to know, have you gotten the chance to work with Chimaev, whether it's grappling, whether it's sparring, whether it's, you know, any type of training drills? Have you gotten to work with him? And we saw his amazing fight against Gilbert Burns. They went to war. It was crazy from bell to bell. But what was it like to get to work with Chimaev, or if you didn't work with him, get to at least see him around the gym and you know, putting in work with some other high-level fighters?
I actually missed Chimaev by one day. I landed and he just left. He'd been there for a month before me, but he was around the gym that I was in. Petr Yan, this is the second training camp I've done with Petr Yan. Great training partner, amazing person as well. Like, this guy's a really, really good-hearted fellow. Like, I'll give you an example. There was a lady that broke her nose on a banana boat accident. Peter donated quite a bit of money to that. And then there was like a cleaner in the hotel we were staying at, bought him a motorbike so he could get to and from work. Like, and then doesn't publicize any of this, but Peter's a really good guy and he deserves a lot of credit in the sport.
Yeah, he's got the nickname of No Mercy, but behind the scenes, he's a little different, huh?
Peter's a great guy. Peter is a fantastic guy. His coach is even better, Kairat. Shout out to them and their team. Great guys. Really enjoyed working with them. It was like going back to old school martial arts. It was the bowing, it was the shaking hands, straight drills, the crazy Soviet music. It was just like, wow, but it was amazing. I really, really enjoyed this training camp with them.
Awesome, man. And yeah, Peter looks like a pretty good dancer for some of the clips that have showed up on Instagram. Looks like he likes to get down during training camp, huh?
Yeah, much better than me.
Best of luck in your fight, Brendan, and I can't wait to see you perform.
Thank you.